Hi, welcome back to Everything Nina. So, I just wanted to give some information about cruising and what you should do and what you shouldn't do 2 weeks prior to your sailing date. So, let's get into it. So, 2 weeks prior to your check-in date, it's a list of things that you should want to get done and get out the way. Because 9 times out of 10, you are going to find yourself running out of time literally the day before. And sometimes when you think you have a lot of things done, actuality you really don't. Things just come up. Things you remember, it just comes about. So, let me give you a list of things that I did to help me prepare for my upcoming sailing. And quite honest, I believe I followed everything to the T. Last minute thing, as we will get into it, but it was one last minute thing that I was going crazy trying to look for. And honestly, at first, I wasn't going to make it a big deal, but then that last minute thing always gets you. So I will get into that towards the end. So, the first thing and foremost, pack your clothes. Some people are late packers. Some people say, hey, I don't need to pack early. It's not that big of a deal. But trust me, pull your things to the side and just start, gathering everything you need. So, I start packing literally, I know this may be excessive, but I do pack 4 weeks, 3 weeks prior to whenever I travel. I find it easy and convenient for me. The reason being is because I can't decide on what I want to bring. Sometimes I go back and forth. I can't bring my whole closet, which is, unfortunately kind of, sad, because I try to minimize a lot of things and then I end up bringing a ton of things. So it's sad on my part. I will admit that. But I do try to pull things out and keep them, to the side for the time being. And I do pretty good at that. But definitely 2 weeks prior, you should at least start having everything packed up in the cubes. Now, I will say that, of course, your toiletries, that comes very last moment, and I understand that. Usually, I have most of my toiletries packed, and then the stuff that I really can't pack, I literally do it the morning of. The morning of I travel. So, again, it's all about preference and how flexible you are. Me, I have a lot going on, and I have to give myself time, and I have to do a lot of time management. I have to write it down when I'm going to do it this day and execute it on that day. Because if I don't, I feel as though I'm a day behind or 2 days behind. I have to do it when I have it written on the list and the date I'm supposed to do it. Okay, so since we got that out. And also, I want to mention, when packing for a cruise, please don't overpack. I am so guilty of always overpacking on the cruise. For some reason, as many times as you go, you still overpack. I feel as though that I don't even wear all of my outfits that I pack for each day, because I'm usually in swimsuits most of the day because I'm going to port. I come back to the pool, or maybe I stay on the ship and just do the pool or do activities water related. It just takes the whole day. And then I will go to dinner, of course, get cleaned up, get dressed up for dinner, and bam, that's just my outfit. Instead of my regular outfit I will wear around the cruise, like my regular clothes. So again, when you usually pack for a cruise, I will say I pack for each night, and then also pack dressy clothes for each, like casual, formal clothes for each night as well. So it's like I'm double packing. So I would have 14 outfits. I know that's a little excessive, but that's what I do. I'm trying to minimize the next time I go on a cruise and just know what I need, and not things that I want to bring, but just things that I need. So just be mindful. You're not going to need all them clothes. Trust me. Believe me. So the next thing on the list is make sure you have all your documents. This is very, 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 very important. I cannot stress this enough. Now, some cruises that you take does require a passport. You need a passport on places that you may travel. And some you just need your birth certificate. So, in my opinion, I just say get the passport, because it's convenient. You have it. It's better. Now, it is good for 10 years. Okay, that's the plus side. And guess what? If you do decide to go out the country, other than, if you're not, on a cruise and you say, I want to go out the country somewhere, at least you have your passport. Have it, get it and have it. Make sure you have a valid driver's license or ID. You've nailed the new documents, your vaccination card, as well as a negative COVID test. Okay, so of course this is new stuff because of the pandemic. Make sure you have your medical cards, your medical insurance cards. What I did this time, I believe I just did a copy of them. So I put my medical insurance card on my printer at home. I did the insurance card, the prescription card, the dental card, and I put them all and I copied it. So that's what I did. And instead of bringing the actual card, I believe that would be good enough. I copied front and back. I don't know. I just feel like if I bring too much, something's going to get lost along the way. So I try to be cautious of that. I never really lose stuff, but that'd be just the time. So that is something to think about when you are getting ready for 2 weeks prior to cruising. Also, since this new rule and policies are in place for a negative COVID test, when my husband and I went, we had to make sure we got a COVID test done 48 hours prior to your sailing. So let me tell you about that story. Okay, we originally was going to go with a COVID test through CVS. Found out, I called and they told me, hey, yeah, you can do the COVID test. That's not a problem. And I asked them, was it a fee? They said no. I told them it was for travel and they said no. So something told me to call again. I believe it was because of the time I chose and I wanted to get a later time. I called again and guess what? They wanted, I believe it was $160 each or $150 each. Would have made it $300 together for my husband and I. We said heck no. So then we went along and did the at-home COVID test. Now with that was very misleading. I'm thinking that I could go out to CVS, which I was told by an agent through Royal Caribbean, actually a manager through Royal Caribbean, and they said that I could go out and purchase an at-home COVID test, but however, I had to have it, I had to go through whoever they were linked with to watch us take the COVID test via Zoom or Google Doc meeting type thing, and that was an epic fail because I had to purchase it through Royal Caribbean, and I asked that question repeatedly, like, do I have to purchase it through you guys in order to get that third party to watch us take it, or I could just purchase it on my own and still use your third party, staffing to watch us take it? And they said, oh no, you can go ahead and purchase it. It's whatever you feel comfortable of doing. And we did just such. We went to our nearest CVS and boarded However, that was not the case, so that was a fail. And let me tell you, this is where I come in and say, last minute things can really make or break you, because whatever else you got going on can take you from it. So once that was said and done, okay, so we couldn't take it, that's fine. Now it's time to find somewhere where we could pay little to none. So I Googled literally 2 days prior, because the day before we left, right, we left a day before to go to Miami to stay there a night before we cruised. So I had to find someone quick and fast. So we did find someone, a pop-up place, and it was being done at the library. Unfortunately, they were not there at the time they were supposed to be. However, on our way going to that library, we passed a pop-up site, and we just went back to that. And guess what? They were so friendly, so fast. It was in and out, got it done, got our results back, and that was good enough. So I say this, just do your research. I mean, if we didn't have no other choice, yes, we would have just paid the $300. But I think that's a little bit too excessive, just to say a negative COVID test. And I feel like if you put the legwork in, as you can see, we didn't have to pay that $300. So if that was our last resort, that was our last resort. We would have to do that, but we didn't. Thankfully, we didn't have to go that route. So I would just say, just have a plan A, B, and C, just in case certain things don't work out in your favor. So make sure, that is one of the policies and procedures. You have to have that negative COVID test. You have to take it 2 days prior to your sailing. So make sure that is a priority to you. Now, I don't know what it is at this point. It could have changed again. So it fluctuates. One day is that, one day is this way, the next day is another way. So it all depends. The next thing, a lot of people like to make sure, they get their hair done. They want color, they want cut, they want to get the nails, the toes done, a manicure and pedicure. Just make sure you fit all of that in your schedule. Try not to do that a day before. Do it 3 days before. All of that you must take in consideration when, you about to set sail, or even any, travel journey you're going to be doing. And lastly, if you have children, that is another, a whole nother conversation. But if you have children, you have to take that in consideration too. If the children or child is staying with a family friend, you got to make sure their documents is in order, their medical cards, just in case of emergency, making sure everything is set up for them, and their luggages, their book bags, everything, their food prep, making sure you pull out funds for them, whoever they're staying with. So it's a lot that goes in with it. And personally, I just like to be very organized and, set. So I do this because it works for me, but do what works for you. I literally make a whole list. I have a little book, and every time I go on vacation, I put all my detailed information in, and I just go from there. And I go from this day I have to do this day I have to do that, and it has to be done. And I really push myself to get it done. I really do, because it helps me to get the job done, and it works. So I'm just giving you little tips and tricks on how to, get around it, and stress free. That's the main thing, being stress free. And my husband and I always try to get to the airport at least, I say, 2 hours prior. Now, we may get there 2 hours right on the dot prior to our, takeoff, but we do get there at least 2 hours prior, sometimes 2.5 hours, because, lines can be very long. But other than that, this is all the information I have about that. Now, again, please comment if I did not restate something, or maybe you need some clarification on something I mentioned, please just comment. I'm more than welcome to respond right back to you. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for joining Everything Nina. I really do appreciate all of you. Again, thank you. Have a great day. See you soon. Bye.